going on, everybody? It has been a minute, to say the least. First, I want to say thank you for helping me reach 2,000 subscribers. I appreciate everybody who watches, comments, and gets involved with the content. It honestly is the thing that keeps me coming back. Without that, I don't know if I would necessarily be making as many videos. There's been another break in videos, and it's really easy to explain. I actually started a new job. About 8 months ago, I left my position at a popular online retailer for car parts and went on the road to go find myself, but after a long journey and working for myself, I finally found somewhere to call home. Today marks the end of my first week, at least the day I'm filming this, so I'm actually on the bike a lot again because, oh my god, traffic. I forgot how bad it can be when you're going with it. I thought, you know what? I'm going through traffic on a motorcycle, and if there was one thing I wanted to learn on a bike, or learn how to do on a bike when I was first starting, is how to safely lane split. So today's video is exactly that. It's how to lane split. I have a couple basic strategies that I employ to, you know, assess and mitigate risk as best I can. We'll just start with the first thing. Number one, assume you're invisible at every step of the way. If you do that, it really helps avoid a lot of problems. That's really going to help you avoid assuming somebody sees you and then they don't, and then they move into you and then you get upset. Nobody really wants to deal with that. The second thing is, don't go too damn fast. I mean, really, a lot of times I see problems with riders lane splitting when they're going way faster than traffic. Like, I've seen people split lanes in traffic like this at 60 miles an hour. It's just not safe. Some people will move, and I vary my speed. I don't try to like speed through. Like there, I kind of went through a gap, and you know, I just wanted to get through it. But I don't want to constantly be doing that, because that's really how you will create a scary situation. Like, this person is really kind of actually making me nervous, so I'm gonna blow by him. Again, I reduce my speed immediately because I don't need to be going that much faster than traffic, because without fail somebody will try and jerk out in front of you, or you know, change lanes without signaling. So I don't want to put myself in a unsafe situation when I can't stop. And really, that's a big thing, is, you know, if you split lanes too fast, you're not going to be able to stop in time if something happens in front of you. Keep an eye on your six, not a bunch, but you definitely want to keep an eye on what's going on behind you, because there might be an emergency vehicle, there might be another motorcyclist coming up. You don't know what's behind you, so don't pay too much attention, because really your eyes should be forward, but certainly keep an eye on what's going on behind you just every once in a while if you have a chance to check in. Now, right now I'm doing about 45. I'm actually a little nervous going this fast with traffic, because the density is pretty high right now, so I'm actually going to reduce my speed a little bit. And another thing that I look for as I'm approaching cars splitting lanes, I look for the angle of the wheel. I try to get a quick glance at what the driver's doing, either in their rearview mirror or their side mirror, just to get a sense where their attention is focused, because that's also another indicator you can look for as you're coming up on cars, so you don't get surprised, because often they'll kind of communicate what they're going to do in front of you before it ever happens, and that's another way you can avoid having any issues. So right here, I mean, we're doing the speed limit almost on the freeway already, and so I'm not going to split lanes anymore at this point. The driver in front of me is actually weaving off and on, so I'm going to just keep the same safe distance until I can safely get by him. I don't particularly want to split past that car, although it looks like traffic's slowing down here, so I will be. But that's a behavior I would be looking for, and you know, see, like there, I didn't just go straight into that other lane. I at least mirror checked and shoulder checked. So, you know, for those of you who are new to riding bikes, say slow down there a little bit. For those of you new to riding bikes, don't treat it like you're in a car. I think that's the biggest mistake most novices make, and they don't treat it like it's a motorcycle. And so this guy's got his blinker on, but I don't think he wants over. But see, that's the thing you're going to look for to, you know, what they're communicating to you. See that SUV? Change lanes without any signal in front of us. That's what you got to keep your eyes open. This guy's kind of angled a little bit, so I'm going to keep an eye. Now, there's a motorcycle behind me, but I'm not going to let that push my pace. If he wants to go around me, there's other lanes. And that's the other thing. Ride your own ride. Don't worry about who's behind you. Don't worry about what's going on. They'll get around if they need to. So I'm even pushing my pace a little bit more than I normally would because I know he's behind me. So, if you're also following somebody splitting lanes, don't do what he's doing behind me. It's annoying. You're all gonna get home eventually. There's no need to fucking rush. Pardon the French, but there is no need to rush. See? And he went around. He can go around. That's totally fine. But I don't need to go that fast in between these cars. And you could see there's a few times where the gap closed up. That guy's not even paying attention. That's exactly what you don't want to do. He's got big panniers on his bike, and I mean, honestly, it's not worth going that much faster. You're not going to get home that much quicker. You're already getting home quicker on a motorcycle. And the other thing is, when you have riders like that, guess what? That gives everyone else a bad rap. Even if they're being, you know, courteous, splitting lanes. And, you know, ultimately that's the last point I want to hammer home, guys and gals. Although the stats say, like, almost no women watch my videos, which is kind of interesting, but that's a story for another day. The thing is, guys, you know, if you want this to be a thing in your state, you gotta realize that it takes one bad apple to ruin it for everybody. And, you know, thankfully in California, I don't see it going away. But bottom line is, if you're a dick about it, why would you expect other drivers to be courteous? Now, I will say that I haven't commuted on a bike in really in a long time. But I am impressed with what appears to be drivers who are significantly more aware of motorcyclists doing this in California. And more often than not, they move out of the way for me. And I mean, I gotta say, you know, that's huge. That makes me feel a lot more comfortable. And it's nice, although this person's not paying attention. He is. He or she. I try to give a wave to the drivers who really make a effort to move out of the way. But yeah, if you're not courteous, it's not helping anybody. So try to do it courteously. And if you're in a state that it's not legal and you do it anyways, again, it's even more important that you're courteous, so that you don't give yourself a bad rap when you do this. Now, my last tip, this is actually something that dawned upon me the other day riding home. It's a lot easier to split lanes between the number 4 and the number 3 lane. I noticed that drivers are much more willing to kind of move over. I mean, you just saw 4 cars on my left moved all the way over to their left, and gave me way more room, which is nice. I don't notice drivers doing that as much in other lanes, so it's kind of nice. So now I'm coming up to an area where I'm going to need to start moving over. So I'm going to start finding a gap to do that. Now that's another thing. In traffic, when you see a gap in front of a car like that right there, you need to be careful, because that's an opportunity for somebody on a lane farther over to get in and suddenly get in front of you. So especially with trucks, just pay real close attention when there's a gap in traffic like that. Try to anticipate what's going on. So now I see a gap here, so I'm just going to get over. I'm going to start making my way over. And you're going to see when I split lanes in this side, there's going to be less room, like significantly. Less aware drivers on this side of the freeway typically. So I'm going to take that opportunity to get over, because I got to get over more. And when you make your decisions, again, assume you're invisible. That's a survival tactic, because at the end of the day, riding a street bike's all about survival. Nice S2000. Factory hardtop. That's kind of rare. AP1. Okay, so now we're going to get to a spot where I'm going to have a little bit of freedom. I'm going to zip up and around this guy. I'm probably going to stop splitting lanes. There's a semi up there. I need to be getting over here in a second, so the advantage of me splitting and having to jerk in front of a car at this point is low. So it's coming up here. I'm going to start paying attention what's on my right. When I make my move, it's moving traffic and I'm going slower than it, so I need to be prepared to get down and boogie. And another kind of like tip for street riding to survive is that if you know there's a freeway exit during traffic that's really bad, avoid it on your bike. It's not worth putting yourself at risk if you can exit the freeway one up and cruise and not have to deal with, like, let's say an exit where traffic really backs up and there's a lot of, rear end accidents. I mean, there's one up by my house that I just avoid that exit for that reason. So, okay, this is a little scary. You got a really slow car right there stopped. You don't know what they're gonna do. So I kind of start covering the brakes. I mean, they're blocking a whole freaking lane on the freeway. And we have slowed down. Okay, again, checker 6. See, it's coming up behind us. Now I'm getting off the freeway in the next exit, so I'll stay to the far right and split up to it. But I hope you learned something today. This is a video I've been thinking about making for a while, and didn't really become relevant until I was swinging my leg over the bike this week to commute. I think it's something good that, you know, should be said. So until the next video, I'm Sean with the driver's perspective, and it's another two-wheeled edition. See you in the next one.